In 2024, a Grammy-winning artist walked into a Tesla dealership in New York City shopping for a Cybertruck. The salespeople largely ignored him. They continued helping other customers, while one of the most successful musicians in hip-hop history stood waiting. The moment was captured on TikTok. The artist didn't appear upset. In fact, he has a reputation for avoiding celebrity treatment. But the video raises a much bigger question. What if he had actually wanted to buy? What if a salesperson's assumption almost prevented the purchase of an asset that would one day become part of a family's legacy? Because something remarkably similar happened more than 60 years earlier. Manhattan, 1963. A young jazz musician named Herbie Hancock had just joined Miles Davis's band. His royalty check from Watermelon Man had arrived. He walked into a dealership to purchase an AC Shelby Cobra. The salesman looked at a young black man in casual clothes and questioned whether he could afford the car. Herbie Hancock knew exactly what the car cost. The next day, he returned with $6,000 in cash. He bought it. He drove it for decades. Today, that same Cobra is worth more than $2 million. Instead of selling it, Hancock chose to leave it to his grandson. A transaction that almost never happened became an intergenerational asset. These two stories are separated by more than 60 years, but they reveal something surprisingly similar. Neither incident involved a written policy preventing a purchase. There was no sign on the door, no formal rule, no explicit barrier. Instead, both stories illustrate the power of assumptions. In each case, someone made a rapid judgment about who looked like a serious buyer. Economists often describe this type of decision-making as statistical discrimination. People use limited information to estimate probability. Sometimes those assumptions are accurate. Sometimes they are profoundly wrong. When those assumptions influence access to opportunity, the economic consequences can extend far beyond a single transaction. The Herbie Hancock story survived because the purchase eventually happened. The J. Cole incident was recorded because someone happened to capture it on video. But what about the moments that leave no record? What about the entrepreneur who never receives the follow-up call? The commercial property that is sold before a buyer is taken seriously? The investment meeting that ends early because expectations were quietly lowered before the presentation even began, or the insurance claim where additional assumptions, questions, or documentation delay an otherwise straightforward process. As BWO's founder has observed during more than 2 decades as an insurance professional, seemingly small decisions can produce meaningful financial consequences over time. Many of these situations are impossible to quantify after the fact. No headline, no viral video, no historical record, only opportunities that quietly disappear. Herbie Hancock probably didn't believe he was purchasing a future $2 million asset. He was buying a car he admired. What changed everything wasn't prediction. It was ownership. He kept the asset. He resisted selling it. He allowed time to do the work. That's the lesson. Not every important financial decision looks important in the moment. Sometimes the greatest opportunities begin as ordinary transactions. The difficult question is impossible to answer. How many people never returned the next day? How many investments were never made? How many assets were never acquired because someone quietly decided they weren't a serious buyer? We'll never know. The successful stories become history. The missed opportunities disappear without a trace. That invisible difference may be one of the most overlooked costs of wealth creation in America. Black Wall Street odds.